The Treaty of Villeneuve, 1372, was the definitive agreement that ended the dispute between the House of Anjou and the House of Barcelona over the Kingdom of Sicily that began 90 years earlier in 1282. In 1266, Charles, Count of Anjou, took the Kingdom of Sicily by force at the invitation of the Pope. The kingdom at that time included the island of Sicily and all of southern Italy. In 1282, a revolt broke out against the French on Sicily, the so-called Sicilian Vespers. King Peter III of Aragon, who claimed the kingdom as his inheritance through his mother, invaded the island. The protracted War of the Vespers only ended in 1302 with the Peace of Caltabellata. The treaty divided the kingdom in two. The Kingdom of Sicily, Regnum Siciliae, was restricted to the mainland and continued to be ruled by the House of Anjou, while the island of Sicily itself became the Kingdom of Trinacria, Regnum Trinacrii, under the rule of Peter's son Frederick III. The treaty dictated that Trinacria was to pass to Anjou after Frederick's death, but it was ignored and the House of Barcelona was still in control of it in 1372, despite decades of intermittent warfare. Contemporaries distinguished between Sicily on this side of and beyond the lighthouse, Sicilia Citra et Ultra Ferrum, referring to the Punta del Ferro that marked the narrowest width of the Straits of Messina between the island and the mainland. Modern historians prefer to label the island Kingdom Sicily, and its mainland counterpart the Kingdom of Naples, after its capital city. Negotiations to resolve the Sicilian question were resumed in 1371, mediated by the Chiaramonti, the most prominent aristocratic family supporting the Aragonese claim in Sicily. In January 1372, Joan and Frederick signed a preliminary agreement without the approval of Gregory. In February, King Peter IV of Aragon and his queen, Eleanor, sister of Frederick IV, appealed to Pope Gregory, as suzerain over the old, unified Kingdom of Sicily, to invest Eleanor as queen of the island on the grounds that Frederick was incompetent to rule. The Aragonese monarchs even claimed that the Sicilian barons had requested Eleanor be their queen. Some sources even describe the initiative for the settlement as coming from Gregory. In February, the Pope proposed that Frederick marry Antoinette de Beaux, Antonietta del Balzo, the daughter of Duke Francis of Andria, one of the leading magnates of Joan's kingdom, to seal the peace between the rivals. Gregory was trying simultaneously to preserve his right to preside over a regency in Sicily, to preserve the Church's freedom from secular interference and to open up Italians' markets to Sicilian grain once the papal interdict on Sicily was lifted. He insisted that Frederick should do homage and swear fealty to him as well as to Joan. The other terms of the treaty approved on August 20, 1372 were that, every year on the feast of Saints Peter and Paul, June 29, Frederick was to pay a tribute of 3,000 ounces of gold, equivalent to about 15,000 florins, he was to supply 10 war galleys to the Neapolitan fleet, and he owed Joan servitium, military service, which in practice meant a loan of troops to her army. In return, as per the preliminary agreement, Joan promised not to support or give shelter to any rebel against Frederick, and to intercede with the Pope to have the interdict on Sicily lifted and Frederick and his supporters absolved. Gregory's bull of ratification affirmed the right of Frederick's daughter Mary and her descendants to inherit, but since Sicily was regarded a wholly new kingdom, no other relatives of Frederick, like his sister, had any rights in it. Frederick was to take the title King of Trinacria, as in the Treaty of 1302, and Joan had the sole right to the title Queen of Sicily. The main difference between the agreement confirmed at Villeneuve and that reached at Caltabellata was that in the former the cession of Sicily was in perpetuity. On November 26, 1373, Frederick married Antoinette at Messina, in his kingdom. On December 17, 1373 he swore to the treaty, and on January 17, 1374 he did homage and swore fealty to the Pope through the person of the nuncio, who in turn revoked the interdict in December 1374. Although the Pope had taken to calling Frederick Regens in Sul Trincali, ruler of the island of Trinacria, he could now call him Rex, king. In any case, he soon ignored the annual tribute and the repudiation of the Sicilian title, as did his successors. In 1442, Alfonso I of Sicily inherited Naples and assumed the title Rex Siciliae Citra et Ultraforum, King of Sicily on this side and beyond the lighthouse. In 1503, Ferdinand II modified this to Rex Utriusque Siciliae, King of both Sicilies, and this title continued to be used down to the demise of the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies in 1860.